Well, the largest UFO investigation ever funded by the U.S. government was carried out in total secrecy, and it happened right here in Las Vegas.
And while most of the reports produced by the program are still classified, the scientist who managed the program is spilling some of what he knows.
Dr. James Lakatsky worked for the DIA, or Defense Intelligence Agency, and says the goal of the program was to figure out UFO technology and to one day build our own.
He spoke exclusively with 8 News Now Chief Investigator George Knapp. George now joining us live in studio.
Yeah, we're a big racing town now, right? Formula One, NASCAR, etc. But Las Vegas is known now as a racing town, but the most important race, perhaps on the planet, was headquartered right here. It was a race to see which nation would be the first to crack the code and replicate the propulsion system of these mysterious machines seen for decades in our skies and oceans. The race is real, and it's still underway.
We are in a race for the tech?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
For more than 80 years, the U.S. government has told the public not to fret about UFO intrusions because nearly all of them are explainable. Behind the scenes, though, intelligence agencies and the Pentagon acknowledge there is a deadly serious contest to figure out UFO technology before Russia or China do. Nevada Senator Harry Reid told us before his death that the race is real and that we'd better win it, which is why he was the primary sponsor of a $22 million secret investigation.
And it's not our belief or conjecture or the opinion of the authors. It's facts from the program. These are from official sources, from what the public is paid for.
Dr. James Lakatsky spent most of his career with the DIA analyzing the technology of America's adversaries, weapons that could potentially wipe out the world. He was and is a keeper of secrets and regarded his oath and security clearance as gospel. But these days he is cautiously and meticulously sharing what he can about OSAP, the largest acknowledged UFO investigation ever funded by the U.S. government. Lakatsky designed and managed OSAP, inspired by a book he read about a UFO hotspot in a remote corner of Utah, a place now known as Skinwalker Ranch. Credible witnesses had reported seeing mysterious high-tech objects emerge from holes in the sky. Lakatsky believed this was a potential threat and also an opportunity.
You know, we wanted to learn what can be weaponized here. And basically that was our job at DIA.
Lakatsky visited the ranch, escorted by its owner, Las Vegas tycoon Robert Bigelow, had his own bizarre experience there, then convinced DIA leadership that an investigation was warranted. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid and 2 of his Senate colleagues agreed, and OSAP was born. The program was housed within a subsidiary of Bigelow Aerospace, had a team of 50 full-time investigators, and conducted an unprecedented investigation in near total secrecy. Lakatsky and his team produced an astounding amount of material, including 115 thick documents and the world's largest UFO data warehouse. 14 years after OSAP ended, the DIA has yet to release any of the original material. Lakatsky is doing it himself. His latest book, New Insights Inside the U.S. Government's UFO Program, makes the case that UFOs and paranormal phenomena related to UFOs are generated by someone or something that is not us.
Can we say they're not human?
I don't think you can. We can be pretty well sure we're not dealing with humans.
The material in the book is from government files, compiled by government personnel in a government-funded program. It may not count as official disclosure, but it's in the same ballpark. New Insights includes remarkable UFO incidents, cases in which airline pilots were followed by huge unknown craft which changed shapes while in the air, eyewitnesses who experienced inexplicable physiological changes after their close encounters, others who suffered major medical consequences, outbreaks of bizarre paranormal phenomena, and entities in the homes of dozens of people who had earlier seen orbs, triangles, or other weird craft. Newly unveiled events from in and around the Utah ranch are the stuff of nightmares, including creature sightings, macabre animal mutilations, and even an incident from the oddities known as the Men in Black. Lakatsky flat out admits the government has in its possession at least one recovered craft of unknown origin, a flying machine with no wings, no engine, no fuel tanks.
How do you know it's a craft if it has no fuel tank? You didn't actually see it fly, or I mean, are you convinced it is some sort of a craft, a machine?
Yes. And by the way, Senator Reid asked the same question.
We're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
Like the late Senator, Lekatsky has no doubt our adversaries have their own programs to reverse engineer UFO tech. The OSAP program completed almost everything it was designed to do in its 27-month existence. After that, the funding was suddenly paused. Fingers are pointed at multiple possible culprits, but Lekatsky now reveals the person responsible was Harry Reid himself. The senator confided to Lekatsky there was a spy in his Washington office who was leaking information to help the candidacy of Reid's 2010 opponent, Sharon Angle. Reid was widely expected to lose that race.
So he's worried that the story gets out, it affects his race, and he'd no longer be a U.S. senator.
And it would have.
Reid surprisingly won that race in a cakewalk, but afterward was no longer the majority leader of the Senate. He was minority leader. Lekatsky says Reid kept his word and secured funding for OSAP to continue in some form. We'll explore that part of the story in a future report. And as a matter of disclosure, I was the journalist who was allowed to know about OSAP while it was underway, and later was a co-author of 2 earlier books by Dr. Lekatsky and his colleague, Dr. Colm Kelleher. I had no hand in this current book, New Insights. Pretty good stuff, though.
Listen, the next time I have a secret to keep, I'm telling George. Because he's not going to tell anybody.
By the way, we hear pretty much sure they're not human.
Yeah.
Both of our jaws
Yes.
dropped, right? George, thank you for that. If you missed any of this